I've been promising you a video on the Horizon 202. Well, here it is. I've had this camera on loan for quite a few weeks already from my friends at the Foto Vakhuis in Haarlem, Hans and Mirjam. And I really wanted to like this camera because I enjoy shooting panoramic images. And this is a Russian built 35mm film camera dedicated for panoramic photography. And if you're into panoramic cameras, you know that there's not really that much available. At the high end, we have the Hasselblad X-Pen, and at the lower end, we have cameras like this Russian-built Horizon 202. So it was interesting for me to find out if I could make very good images with this camera. And specifically, I wanted to have a look at the build quality, reliability, and of course, the images that this camera is able to produce. And over the past few weeks, I've put through a few rolls of film. And to be honest, the first two rolls, I wasn't really excited with the images that I was able to achieve. And the camera did have some issues that I will be talking about in this video. And the last roll of film I put through this camera is the Adox CHS 100. And as you know from my previous videos, it is a very stiff film, making it extra difficult to reel into this camera, which is quite intricate. But anyway, I'm going to talk about those aspects with regards to this Horizon 202 and show you some of the images that I was able to achieve. Never let the weather keep you from taking photos. It's a cliche, but that's what I always tell myself. And today I'm outside in the rain taking photos. I have an interesting camera with me today, which is the Horizon, a Russian-built 35mm panoramic camera, and I put in a roll of Ilford HP5 Plus. It makes panoramic photos at an angle of 120 degrees. So I'm outside looking for compositions that fit this type of camera. So let's get going. 1/60th of a second at f11. 1/25th of a second, again at f11, and this one was also handheld. 1/25th of a second at f11, handheld. I thought I would also give you my personal opinion after using the Horizon 202. And you know, like I said in the beginning, at the top end of the spectrum, we have the Hasselblad X-Pen, which is extremely expensive. And at the lower end, we have cameras like this Russian-built Horizon 202. I do have a few things that I would like to say that I'm a little bit disappointed in. First of all, the build quality. It is not of very high quality. It's a completely plastic built camera, and especially when you release the shutter, because it is a mechanical mechanism, the camera almost jumps out of your hand. So preferably you would use this camera on a tripod with a remote shutter release, and luckily it accepts the remote shutter release cable. The second thing is the fact that it is very difficult to spool in a roll of film through this loading mechanism of the camera. It's not easy to do, and especially when you use the stiffer film, the ADOX for example, it's even more difficult to get a film through this loading mechanism. But once you've achieved that, you're okay. I have not had any issues with advancing the film. That brings me to when you get to the end of the film and you want to rewind the film, there's this little rewind crank that is insufficient. There's no way that you can hold on to this little crank and reel the film back into your canister. So you need to use two fingers to simultaneously spool your film back into the canister because there's quite a lot of resistance. So that's the second issue that I bumped up against. The third aspect is the fact that this is a total mechanical mechanism. And once you've cocked the shutter and when you release the shutter, you see that it slows down at the end. And I've had some issues with that in my photos. You've seen that in my exposures. All the way at the end, the barrel mechanism, for some odd reason, slows down just slightly, overexposing the last part of my photos. So you see a difference in exposures. So that was annoying. Maybe it's an adjustment issue, I don't know. Maybe it's manufacturing. I'll have to ask Hans what he thinks of that issue. All in all, for the price you pay for such a camera, it could be a very interesting camera for you. It is a camera that I would like to own because I enjoy shooting panoramic images, and I just cannot pay for the Hasselblad X-Pen. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and of course the images that I was able to achieve. If you have any questions or remarks, just leave them in the video. I'll answer them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you the next time again.